Hello.
Hey,
Hi. Hello.
I said it couldn't be done, but all three of us are here.
It
It's a
happened.
rare occurrence. The eclipse caused it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you guys try to watch the eclipse or do anything eclipse related?
I don't think we were even in the path.
No, there's
No,
no
you
way we
weren't.
could have. Yeah.
But I think you could have still seen like partial or something, maybe. I
I
think.
don't know. I caught
Didn't
the
try.
one in 2017. I was in San Jose and got part of that. So
Cool.
Yeah, no, I remember that one. I was at work and I just straight up pointed my phone at the sun, which I understand is not good for the lens.
Sure.
But I don't remember anything bad happening to my phone. But anyways, yeah, this one, no, I was not. I was even further away from the path than you guys. So
Yeah.
just looked at the NASA live stream. That's all I did.
Yeah, I just saw pictures and video online. That's kind of all I did.
I did have some friends that went to Texas to look at it, but Texas, it was cloudy.
Yep, it was. Yeah.
Looking at this at the NASA stream though, it looks like Mexico was real clear, and then over like in Maine, I had another friend in Maine. It was extremely clear over there as well.
Okay, that's cool.
The next one goes right over Calgary. I saw in like 2044.
yeah, all I gotta do is just survive 20 years in Calgary.
20 years. There you go.
That's all it takes.
That's it. That's all it takes.
What you guys been up to this week? If you're not looking at eclipses,
Not all that much. It's been just working basically. It's been quiet otherwise.
what about you, Paul? What's new with you?
I started Fallout, the series, the
Okay.
TV series. Got 2 episodes in last night. Obviously, we're doing this, so I haven't watched any more today yet. But that show is really good. I am enjoying it. I can't wait to watch more of it.
I've watched 10 minutes of the first episode.
The first 10 minutes?
No, just like a random. I just like
a random
scrubbed,
10 minutes. The first 10 minutes is very good. Like, so you stop basically when the like thing happened, the like end of the world happens before the series like starts off proper.
That's like 5 minutes long. I'm a little into meeting like the main character, but just a bit. Yeah, no, I just time hasn't worked out that.
Yeah.
I want to. I enjoyed those 10 minutes, but I'm glad to hear that you're also enjoying the rest of it.
Yeah, it's great. The biggest criticism or problem I have with it so far is that the first episode feels a little disjointed because they have 4 or 5 like major characters that they introduce, and they kind of just cut away from each of them at some point to like show the other one. So at first it's just like, what the hell? Okay, now we're with this dude for a bit, and now we're with this dude. But it's one of those things where that first episode and about half of the second episode is just kind of setting up them meeting at a point and like the story carrying on from there. So it makes sense. It's just kind of weird when you're with a character for a bit and then it just cuts away at some point and you're like, oh, okay, I guess we're done with her for a bit.
I was kind of surprised that Prime dropped all the episodes at once.
Yeah,
as opposed to like, because Prime usually does like first 3, then weekly. That's kind of Prime's thing, but mixing it up this time, I don't, for whatever reason. The whole thing is out. That's a very Netflix model of them.
Yeah. I was only expecting a couple episodes to be out, but yeah, when I checked, I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm doing that this weekend then.
And then the joke I saw on Twitter was it's not realistic because the characters aren't picking up every single bit of garbage they see and then getting encumbered.
Yeah. There are a lot of weird little callbacks to that series in like Easter eggs and stuff, so that's very cool. I'm loving it so far. I can't wait to watch more.
Cool. Yep. No, me too. I'm looking forward to it. Any interest on your part, John? Fallout the show?
Maybe. I have no real nostalgia for the games, which is the problem. And I've heard that you'll miss out on a lot. It's watchable without, but you will miss out on a lot of references and stuff with it.
There's a lot of fan service that you wouldn't get the full value there, but like it's an end of the world show that it has a vibe to it. So if you dig the vibe at all, it would still be fine, I think.
I'll think about it. I also heard some people like were complaining about like some weird lore change, which like that's like a thing some people are only upset about. I don't know.
Mm,
So curious how they retcon something in particular is what I read. I'm not gonna say what it is, but
gotcha. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I also don't have like a super connection to the games, but I'm gonna watch it. I've been hearing good enough stuff, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
That'll be this weekend.
Yep.
I'm trying to think what. Oh, I saw Monkey Man on the weekend. I recommend
oh,
that
how
movie.
was that? Okay,
Okay.
cool. Because that was one that looked real good, but I haven't been in theaters in a while. So
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty brutal. It
heck
gets
yeah.
it gets pretty messed up.
Yeah.
Very a lot of John Wick vibes. I think I
Okay.
prefer John Wick.
Okay.
Um, but it is still very enjoyable and like pretty unique in kind of some of its references and the cultural stuff it's pulling from. So yeah, I liked it. It's a cool time. Dev Patel does a good job.
Yep.
Would recommend.
Yep. That dude's pretty cool.
I heard he like ruined his body to make this movie.
Oh, damn. Okay.
And the thing is, they had like no money, so it's
Mm,
like it was like on a shoestring budget. So it seems like it was definitely like a labor of love on his part.
sure.
So good for him. Hopefully, it's getting great reviews. So,
Yeah, that's awesome.
all right, top down perspective, April 11th. I'm Sean Booker.
And Paul Fleck.
John Wheeler.
All right, John. It sounds like you didn't play anything.
Not really. I'm playing a bit of Pacross right now because I've got Pacross S Plus I'm working through.
Okay.
Haven't really played much. All the stuff I've done on stream is like I finished up another code the first half of the game. Now I'm starting the
Mm,
second half, the second game in it.
Second game. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll be starting that next week. I play a little bit of Double Dragon Gaiden, Rise of the Dragons, because that got new DLC. I had a sponsored
Nice.
segment for it last week, and I just started playing it on my own.
Okay.
Yeah. No, Double
Good.
Dragon Gaiden's still fun. Beat 'em up. They just added in
Okay.
more characters and more modes, so there's a survival mode now.
cool.
Played some Pepper Grinder, right?
I did. I played that on stream last week.
Okay, how's
Yeah.
that?
Because
So
I
that
played the demo of it at some of the events recently,
yeah.
and I was really enjoying it.
What I played of it, I liked. I didn't get like, so I only did World One, so very simple, very like not crazy. But like the motion feels really good.
Mm,
Digging and like bouncing around is really satisfying. It's a little bit weird to get used to because like there's times where it feels like it wants super precision moves out of you when you're like digging around, and like the physics change when you jump out of the ground, and that can sometimes throw you off.
sure. Yeah.
But like it's very much a flow state game where like if you get what the game wants, like if you kind of get like the movements and that, it's really satisfying, and every stage has a time trial you can aim for if you really want to just like complete the game. But
Cool.
yeah, no, I've been enjoying it so far. So
I hear it's relatively short, like it's only a
uh
few hours long.
5 hours I think is what I was seeing, 4 to 6
Wow.
hours.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah, if you like just like type platformers, go for it.
I also bought S Plus, and I was debating doing all of the modules again. Did you do that, or did you just get the new one, the like base on the new one?
Currently, I just got the new one. So
Okay.
I just got E9.
Okay.
I'm either gonna wait for them to go on sale because Pacross goes on sale every couple of months, or just like
Right.
pick one up at a time whenever I'm just like I'm gonna move for Pacross. Because I don't think I
Yeah.
did S8 or E8 either. So
Gotcha. Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. On a good sale, getting like a whole bunch of them seems like probably.
but I mean
the play.
they're only like $5 each anyway, so they're already pretty cheap.
Yeah.
$5 for basically like 300 plus puzzles. So it's up to you.
That you've done before.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's kind
unfortunately,
of
they're all
the
ones I've done
impetus
before.
of the question is like, were you crazy enough to do what I was thinking of doing? But
I
yeah,
don't
no.
I don't know. I'm easing into it.
Yeah.
There's gonna be like don't be surprised if I'm playing S Plus through like the rest of the year, basically. I'm just
Right.
gonna hack away at it slowly.
Makes sense.
Okay. What about you, Paul?
I'm just getting through. I need to get through Rebirth. I just need this fucking thing to be done. So I'm playing that. I decided I'm not going to do any of the mini games going forward from here on because I know we're going to be revisiting like all of them at some point, and I'm not going to bother with any of that.
That's
shit.
where I am.
I'm doing the side stuff because there's story stuff and there's like some deep lore moments and stuff in there.
Yeah.
I don't love some of those. So I finished up the story stuff in oh my god, like in Cosmo Canyon, like all the story stuff, and now they kind of like let me out into Cosmo Canyon to do whatever I want, all the side stuff. And the Proto Relic minigame there is just like this weird tower defense thing where you're just throwing down minions to attack like a big boss thing that also spawns minions against you.
Yeah,
That thing
something
sucks.
gears.
It's
Don't worry,
boring.
it wasn't that great in the original game either.
I've been engaging with everything. That one, there was so much tutorial
There's
that
so
I was just
much.
like, I'm just gonna put this on easy. I'm gonna use your pre-set up stuff. I don't have the capacity to do that. No, I'm
yeah,
good.
yeah, that's fair. I am still enjoying Queen's Blood enough that I do
Queen's
all
Blood
of those. It's
is the
fun.
best. I
It's
would
fun.
play it like I want them to make a Queen's Blood game. Um, just like a separate standalone thing. I would absolutely play that. It is so good. It's the first thing I do every time
It's fun.
that I get to a new area.
And
Yeah.
they're doing the kind of like weird inscription thing of there's like some deep shit going on lore wise that you get a little bit of story every time you do a certain amount of it, and you're just like, oh, this is kind of fucked up.
Yeah, this is weird. Well, from what I understand, they had a dedicated team on Queen's Blood for a
Mhm.
year of the game's development just doing Queen's Blood. So that's why
Okay.
it's like extremely good.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, no, it's really, really good. All of the mini games have varying quality, or varying degrees of quality, I would say. I'm just kind of sick of them myself, so I'm just gonna skip them. But the side stuff in general is hit or miss, but you usually get some good story stuff going on in there. I guess like the thing I was going to say is that even though the mini game for the Proto Relic stuff here sucks, it's like really important to do with the live stream stuff, and like I only did one of them so far, but like it has to do with a main character of the like Avalanche group from the first game, and like so there's
From
like
remake. Yeah.
there's some deep stuff going in there that you could just totally miss if you skipped it. So I guess I'm just gonna do those just to make sure that I get all of that. And for the most part, I don't hate those. They're like, I don't know, 15 minutes to get them wrapped up. It's not that big of a deal.
The side quests, they are, I think, for the most part, pretty useful to do. You do
Yeah.
get like some backstory for
Yeah.
people for sure.
They're worthwhile.
So you're about to go to Nebel.
Yep.
I finished up Nebel. I'm in the chapter after that, which after that they're like, hey, you should go back to every spot you've been because there's more side quests,
Yep.
and also all the mini games now have a new set
Yep.
like mode or
No,
difficulty. And
I knew this
like,
was coming.
holy shit.
That's why I was saying I'm not going to bother with any of that shit. Fuck that. I don't care.
I don't have it in me to like play through all of the mini games on a harder difficulty. Some of them are the worst.
Yes.
But right now I am apparently about to play like 20 chocobo races in a row because it's a side quest tied to that.
The chocobo races, I wouldn't say I love them, but I
would not say that.
I'm pretty ambivalent to that. Like, I don't care, honestly. They're whatever.
They're fine. It could be a lot worse.
Yes.
There are way worse mini games. The chocobo races are definitely in like the top half. What's weird about the chocobo races though is that the controls are different than when you're just riding a chocobo, and I think that's insane. When they first introduced that, I was like, why would you do this?
Yeah. No, it sucks. It feels really, really bad, but you get used to it. I guess like the chocobo thing in Cosmo Canyon is also kind of you do like this gliding or whatever. So the gliding mini games, that just feels so bad for the first like half an hour until like you kind of get the feel of how those stupid things control, and then they're just kind of bad, not the worst anymore.
I like the chocobo in the Nebel region. They're weird.
Yeah, I'm excited
the
to
building
see
makes
it.
no sense.
I'm excited to see what their thing is, because you were saying that last time, and I'm intrigued. But the story is still good. Everything like with I don't care about Red 13 in general. I never have, but like his story and stuff is still heart-wrenching and good in the same way, and it's all good. So yeah.
I'm with you though. I need to finish this game. Like I need it off my plate because so many other things are like coming out or I'm wanting to play, and it's just like, well, I still have Rebirth, so I should probably keep. So it's just like I need that to no longer be like a drag, a pull away from stuff. I need it to be done so I can move on.
Yeah. I heard some of the fights at some point are kind of a pain in the ass too. They get kind of quite difficult, but that makes
Great.
sense. But I'm
Okay,
probably
well.
not going to worry about a lot of that stuff. I kind of just want to see the story at this point and then shelf it, I think.
Right on.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Okay, so I've been playing a couple other things. One I wanted to call it was Open Roads. I actually played this last week and totally forgot to talk about it. This is by the team that was formerly known as Fulbright. They did Tacoma. They did Gone Home,
Right.
and then all the weird toxic stuff came out about like the studio head, and that team kind of like collapsed, and then the publisher just like took over. So this is technically by the Open Roads team. That is the name of the developer on this game.
Interesting. Was that Steve Gaynor? Was
That was the guy.
that was him?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. I
He was the
remember.
studio head of Fulbright.
Yeah, I remember.
So Annapurna just stepped in and just kind of like collected some of the remaining developers and just like continued paying them to finish the game.
Mm.
So just kind of a weird development thing, kind of unique. Anyway, unfortunately I like Tacoma and Gone Home more than Open Roads. Open Roads seems like the smallest in scope compared to those other ones, which those other ones already were kind of pretty small scope in general. But I just think the story in there was more interesting. This you can finish in 90 minutes, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it just the other ones they kind of had more twists, more kind of intrigue going on. This takes place. It's in the 90s. You're this like teen daughter. It's you and your mom. You're like packing out your recently deceased grandmother's house, and then you kind of uncover some interesting stuff about her past. So you like go to like her old summer home, and there's a lot of kind of road trip segments where you're just chatting with your mom. There's a really cool like kind of, I don't know, comic aesthetic for the characters. That like it's a visual novel, it's a walking simulator, so you're gonna get kind of a lot of that. So like I mean, if you like those games, I think this is a totally fine one. It is on Game Pass, so there's that to it. I just think it is kind of a step back from what I would have expected from this team, but I can't really blame them considering they had a pretty ridiculous development cycle with this game. So I'm just glad it kind of came out, and good on Annapurna for kind of being a good publisher and helping get it to the finish line.
Yeah.
And then sticking with Game Pass, I've been playing Botany Manor this week. This is it's a puzzle game. Visually, it kind of looks like The Witness, but in terms of a puzzle game, it's not really The Witness. You are exploring this big manor, that has orchards and stuff around it, and the puzzle aspect is growing specific flowers. So you'll unlock a new room or a series of rooms, and then in there you'll start picking up clues that will talk about. They usually talk about one or a couple different flowers or people running into these flowers, and what you need to kind of do is line up the clues with the flower. And then once you find the seed for the flower, you need to figure out, okay, how does this flower grow? Like the very first one is like, oh, it's a flower that like needs this specific kind of um like heating condition because it's like a tropical flower, and there's like a heater in the house in the room you're in, so you need to figure out what temperature to put it at and put the flower in front of it, and then it'll like bud and stuff like that. It was very much a point and click like adventure game. My one kind of main complaint, and unfortunately it kind of gets exponential as you go on, is you will get these clues. You kind of line the clues up, and for the most part, it's pretty obvious which clue goes where. But like there's like a bit of an inventory system for these clues, but they're just like names of the clues. They're not the actual thing. So, for example, let's say you get a letter, or you find a letter from like a friend who was talking about, oh, this flower was like we found it on this mountain, and then there's another like a poster being like this mountain is this temperature, blah blah blah. So like, okay, this flower blooms at this temperature. But you can't open your inventory and look at the clues. You can only open your inventory and look at the name of the clue.
What?
So what that
Oh.
kind of so how that works is it'll be like, okay, in my inventory I have letter from friend and I have mountain height poster, but I can't look at what those clues actually look like. So I have to run back to them.
Hmm.
So it gets kind of annoying where you're like, okay, hang on, which one goes with where? Because I'm in chapter 5. I have 4 different flowers at the moment, and I'm getting clues for all 4 of them. And eventually it's just like, okay, hang on. This one is titled poem. That's it. I don't remember what the poem said. I guess I need to go find that poem again. I kind of wish you could just pull up the clues because these are things you're
Yeah.
supposed to be referring to figure out the puzzle.
Weird.
Yeah, it's a really weird choice. Luckily, the areas aren't that big. It's not too hard to like run back to that spot, and the run is actually like surprisingly fast. Um, but specifically, just like you usually start with like one. The first chapter is like one flower, and then the next one is like 2, and they're pretty spaced apart. But the last 2 chapters I've been, there has definitely been some overlap where it's just been like, oh man, like, and I have at the moment I have a lot of clues,
Hmm.
and I'm just like I don't even know. So it's at this point it's like I don't even think I'm gonna like start inserting the clues into which piece. I just know that this plant needs to be underwater. So let me just try and figure out what temperature of water it needs, and then I'm moving it on. I'm not connecting the dots anymore. It's in my head. It's working out,
Hmm.
but yeah,
That sounds
it's
really
kind of a weird.
frustrating.
It's a little frustrating for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
But it only comes up kind of mainly in like the second half of the game. The game's like
Oh, okay.
3 hours long.
Oh, wow. Quite short then. Okay.
It is pretty short, yeah.
Okay.
And again, that's on Game Pass if that
Yeah.
sounds of interest to people. I think if you do like puzzle games, there are some fun puzzles in there. And I didn't have any frustrations for like the first 2.5 to 3 chapters, so I do still recommend it.
Hmm.
And that's Botany Manor.
Cool.
And with that, let's do some news.
All right,
All right,
what's been
this first
happening
one
lately?
is that Apple is going to start allowing game emulators on the App Store, which is a
All right,
Hmm.
pretty
countdown to
big.
RetroArch being on there.
Yeah, like I'm almost kind of surprised there hasn't been like a big announcement of things already on there, like people just ready to go since they've had like almost a whole week. But this is just kind of part of the whole Apple like loosening its App Store in relation to different markets, mainly the UK, kind of
Hmm.
coming down with some laws being like you need to open this up. It's just anti-competitive, and we know Apple already does have set different storefronts coming. Epic has said they're launching one this year in the EU, which unfortunately North America is not getting those yet, but we are at least going to be getting game emulators.
Cool.
So that's cool.
That
Yeah,
is,
good for
yeah.
them. This has been an Android thing forever,
Yep.
and now it's going to be coming to Apple. So open it up, nice. Of course, this is just because Apple doesn't want to get sued in the future because more and more pressure is getting put on them. So they're like, fine, please don't sue us.
Cool.
Over at Xbox, there's not a ton of news here. Sarah Bond, one of the heads of the Xbox team, basically kind of put out an internal statement that, of course, was written because it's going to get leaked because every statement now is going to get leaked. So they're always writing them like that. Um, this is this is around the whole information of they're working on new hardware. There isn't actually any new information about the hardware, but the headline here is that Xbox has established a team dedicated to game preservation. Um,
Hmm.
which shouldn't be too big a surprise. Xbox
No,
has done a bunch of backwards compatibility stuff
they're
with their
pretty good about
consoles.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And they like finished up that program they like sometime last year when they said we have gotten all the 360 and original Xbox games that we can do. Various license reasons would keep stuff off. Stuff like Tony Hawk, the soundtracks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you see that they announced the closure date for the 360 shop as well?
I did. It's like July something, right?
Yeah, I think that's right. I forget if that
Yeah.
is this. I think it is July of this year.
Yeah. And they did say the date. I don't have it here, but I believe it's July of this year. Anyway, so one thing that people are speculating from this internal memo is that maybe the next Xbox will have a new architecture that would have to cause them to put
Yeah.
significant amount of work in, because they already put a significant amount of work in. So why would they need a team going forward if they couldn't just kind of continue it on? Like the Series X and the Xbox One are very similar. Like
Yeah.
the dashboards were even the exact same when it launched. So I mean that's good to see. On the other hand, if they're not doing disk drives, that kind of makes backwards compatibility a little bit more difficult.
Yeah. Makes sense you would need a team to kind of work all that stuff out.
Yeah. So but good for them for even wanting to think about it, because some
Yeah.
people just don't.
Yeah, very true.
Nintendo being like, you can just buy it again. You want to just buy Super Mario World again?
It'll be mostly full price.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Okay. The Triple I initiative. Paul, you talked about this last week. The
Yeah.
stream happened. Did you watch it?
I did. Yeah.
I thought it was great.
It was very good. I guess like same problem I have with any of these is some of the biggest games I didn't have. They were reveal trailers and teaser trailers. They didn't have gameplay, which is the only thing I actually ever care about. I want to see what the game actually is and not just how cool their art looks. But so like that's every showcase. I have this issue. So of course I would have it here. I want to see Slay the Spire too, and they just showed a bunch of the characters I've seen already walking around. It's like, yeah, okay.
I mean, I agree with you, but on the other hand, I'm excited just to hear that a Slay the Spire 2 exists. So I do get something out of them even showing this trailer.
Okay. I mean, fair enough. I don't care, like, at all. I want to see the game. That's what I want to see. But, like, yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see when they actually show the game now. I know that's coming.
John, by any chance, did you watch this live stream?
I didn't watch it, but I saw a couple of announcements that were kind of targeted more towards me, like the Rogue Prince of Persia.
Hell yeah.
Vampire
Looks
Survivors.
great.
Yeah, Vampire Survivors' funniest DLC collaboration with Konami, where they got Contra instead of Castlevania, which is fucking brilliant.
Yep, it's really good. That looks really good.
Yeah, Slay the Spire 2, which you already mentioned. Yeah, so there was a couple games in that I was just like, hell yeah, I'm in.
Operation Guns, so good.
If there's more games that were shown that you want to call them out, I'm just kind of going through it. I'm still excited for 33 Immortals.
Yeah, I want to play that so bad. What the car coming to a thing I can actually play it on is very exciting to me.
Yes, I have seen that at a few shows. What the car looks awesome. The Pal World Arena just seemed funny. I just liked seeing the pals and then the trainers just with shotguns.
Yeah. And it was like split screen too, which is also kind of funny for that game. I don't know if that like actually is a thing that you can do or if that's the way they just wanted to show it off or whatever. Probably both, but Cat Quest 3 caught me by surprise. I was like, okay, yeah, I like Cat Quest games, so I'm down for another one of those.
I'm always happy that people are still talking about Risk of Rain, so there's a new update coming to that.
Yeah, I gotta reinstall that game because that made me want to play it again. I've been wanting to play it again, but the Dead Cells collab or whatever, it's very cool. Adding that character.
I need to play more Risk of Rain Returns. I like barely touched that.
Yes, you should. No, it was cool.
All right, it was cool. I hope they keep doing it. Okay, so as we know, Margot Robbie's production company is doing a Sims movie. It has now been announced that Margot Robbie's production company is doing a Monopoly movie.
Yep.
Why not?
Yep. Why not?
So, all right, what is the Monopoly movie? Let's make this movie, boys.
I mean, it's just going to be Barbie type thing again, but for capitalism instead of feminism now, right? Like it's going to have
that would make the most sense.
Or they just make the Monopoly Man.
It's gonna be about Renchoco Moneybags. It's gonna be his rise to fame.
Yeah, it could be.
Okay, so it's a young Monopoly Man.
Could be, yeah. It's just like good. It's Wonka. It's Wonka, but for Monopoly.
Okay, so is it a musical?
Yeah, there's gonna be at least one song in there.
I could see them doing a musical for Monopoly. There's like a whole like railway.
They'll slide in
song.
like "Money, Money, Money" by ABBA. All the money songs you can think of from all your favorite artists.
Okay.
Yep.
What do you like what location do you want them to say the most? 'Cause they're obviously gonna go to these
They're
like
gonna say
properties, right?
boardwalk the most. Let's be
Yeah,
real.
probably.
Boardwalk, jail. Do you think young
Yeah.
Monopoly Man goes to jail at one point?
Absolutely.
Yeah, surely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. What do you think
And
free
someone
parking
straight up
is?
says, "Do not pass go."
Yeah, someone has to
Someone
say do
has to
not
say it.
pass go. But like, how do you actually say that to a human? Like, how do you put that into like a
And they
normal
learned the
everyday?
word "go" is somehow written on like a sign or on the ground, and it's like, "No,
Oh
do
yeah.
not pass go. We're taking you to jail." I don't think they can do
Is
the
it
full line, the "Do not pass go, do not collect $200," but I think they can do one
$200?
of them.
Do you think chance cards have some kind of equivalent?
There's gonna be like some get out of jail free like quirk or something. He's just gonna like reach into his wallet and be like, "I'm out of here."
I mean
Yeah, or
that
does it line
exists.
like
That's just called
How'd you do
money.
that? Community chest.
Unity chest?
Yeah,
Yeah.
community chest. Yep.
So who do you get to play a young Monopoly Man?
John Cena.
John Cena. Okay. I would have pictured it has to be kind of like a shorter
I
person.
just want that. That's not who I actually think is gonna do it. I just want that.
Yeah, it'd be pretty good.
If you do the whole movie as like as old small guy, I could see like a Danny DeVito.
Oh, that would also be enjoyable.
Yeah, Danny
Damn.
DeVito always comes up, so sure.
Or well,
Yeah.
I know he always comes up because that's just funny, but like I could
Yeah,
actually see him because he's a short old guy.
right.
If you want to go the heartfelt route, which Barbie hits at some points, you could do Paul Giamatti,
Oh, that would be pretty great.
There you
right?
go.
Yeah, that'd be pretty great.
Steve Buscemi.
That would be great too. Just throw him in there.
You do like so if you did the John Cena route and it's the young one, do you then like and near the end of it kind of do like a flash forward so that they get the old man and then they
Oh
show
yeah,
like
no, there's got to be like he puts on the suit, and then like it flashes forward to like current day Monopoly Man,
and
and
that's
it's
Danny DeVito, like he's shrunk because he's old now.
I kind of like this idea of just being like someone who's like super tall and ripped, like John Cena turns into Danny DeVito.
Yeah,
Just
that's
that's
pretty
yeah,
good.
the body breaks down. Yeah, I don't know. Like, part of me thinks this is going to be kind of like Lego Movie to every other Lego movie, where it's like the first one was really good, it had a ton of heart, and then they just kept cashing in on that, and they
Mm,
stopped caring about the script as much. And that's what I'm kind of thinking is what's going to happen
Wouldn't
yeah.
shock me.
Mm-hmm.
on the Hasbro side and stuff. But I guess we'll see. You know, there was a time where I thought The Social Network, there's no way a Facebook movie could be good, and that movie's fantastic.
Yeah.
So, all right. Speaking of movies, Dredge, one of my favorite small indie games of last year, is getting a movie.
Sure. Why not?
Why not?
This one I could see happening because it's like no
Yeah.
one's trying to like ride some big popular game wave while it's hot. It's just like an interesting little game that kind of has like barely a story. So there's like room to kind of go or move around in that universe. And I also just really like the vibes in that game.
I mean, yeah, I love Eldritch horror, so you give me it. Why not?
So, no word on like when that's coming, but we'll find
Yeah.
out.
Five Nights at Freddy's 2 also got announced today, apparently. So
Oh,
Oh, did
really?
it? I didn't see
yeah,
that. Okay.
late next year, I think.
I hate that first
Uh,
movie so much. Ugh.
oh, do you? I was gonna say, is Josh Hutcherson returning?
I think it literally was just the announcement of it coming out. I think that was it.
Okay. For all I know, like I haven't seen the movie. Maybe he died in the first one. I don't know. I didn't watch it. So.
Do you want me to tell you?
No, you don't need to spoil this movie for people. I also don't care.
That's
So
yeah, that's the problem with that movie is that it's not good or bad. It's just kind of mediocre the whole time. It makes a reference to the game every now and then, which is why every kid loves it. And like, but like, it could have
I
been
thought it like connected to some like lore stuff.
it could have been so disastrously bad, but it's just boring. What a boring ass movie.
All right, last story. This was a weird back and forth happening yesterday. Over at EA Motive, the developers of the recent Dead Space remake, it was getting reported that they had started, they had not started, they shelved it, they never even considered it. The concept of, are they going to remake Dead Space 2? Seems like it kind of, after everything was going back and forth, it seems like the final where everything sat was they like really briefly considered it. They even considered doing a new thing in Dead Space, but then were pretty quickly told from EA, can you just work on Battlefield?
Mm.
Thanks, EA.
It gives me real like flashbacks to Ravensoft doing so many cool games, and now they make Call of Duty maps.
Yeah, they make Singularity. It's like, hey, you guys did great. We need you to remake this old Call of Duty map for us, forever.
Forever, just keep doing it because we're gonna put it in each one.
Ugh. God, that sucks. I really wanted to see what they do with Dead Space 2 in a remake. God, that could have been so incredible.
Yeah, so I ask you, Paul. I think out of the three of us, you were the most invested in the Dead Space remake, which you liked it. People seem
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I mean, yeah, it's that game again, but in 23 technically.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, people seemed pretty into it. So, would you have wanted them to remake 2, or would you have wanted a new Dead Space, like a Dead Space 4 or Dead Space subtitle?
So my thing is that I always want a new one because I've played the original. So remakes are, I like remakes generally because I get to do the nostalgia trip or whatever and have fun with that. But I would always prefer, like, even Final Fantasy VII, I kind of wish they had just like made new stuff in that universe or something. I always want something new. So I would have preferred something new, but like I think it would have been cool.
Now you're getting a new Battlefield.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
My favorite Dead Space game.
Yeah. Dead Space 2 lends itself to some really cool horror moments that they could have done, like, really spiced up. That would have been really cool.
Oh god, the eye scene again.
The eye scene, yep.
Yeah.
Dead Space 2 is the only one I've played all the way through.
The weird, like, temple or, like, church thing, or, like, there's so many good horror moments.
I don't even remember that. I remember the creepy baby area.
Yeah, they were kind of everywhere.
Obviously I remember the eye
I'm
thing.
curious if they would have done a new one, what they would have done about Dead Space 3, because they kind of wrote themselves into a corner there.
Yeah. That's also kind of the thing that's like, I kind of want a Dead Space 2 remake because I really want them to do Dead Space 3 properly. Redo that. But who knows?
What if they just remade whatever the Wii one was?
Extraction? I think they did that. It got ported to PS3 at some point.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
And maybe Steam? I don't know. It got somewhere else.
That would be a real like monkey's paw thing of like, come on, keep doing Dead Space, and then they just remake that one, the one that no one thinks about.
Yeah. Good old EA. Not only that, but I think they raised their price. They're raising their prices for EA Play if you subscribe to that by $1 a month or $10 a year.
Yep, I did hear about that.
Good old EA.
I mean, I'm sure Battlefield sells more than a lot of their properties, and no one seems to be very excited about Battlefield.
Yeah.
So I guess it needs some kind of kick in the pants. But yeah, it is a bummer. They just did this thing that was like fan favorite, little passion project. Now they're making just Battlefield.
Yeah. Unfortunately, if that's where the money is, that's the only thing they give a shit about. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to do it for news. Let's do some questions. topdownperspective@gmail.com is the email address, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. And we will start with episode names.
Yay, my favorite time of the year, when I get to forget everything we talked about. All right.
Hooray!
Okay. Oh, this goes back a while, actually. I guess it has been a while since we've done these. Back to 2023, December 28th.
Oh, okay. So just it's not too far into 23.
Yeah, just one in 2023. So December 28th, you can release him from his curse. And I think I actually do know what this is. But I'm just trying to remember what the context was. This is Sean being removed from his Assassin's Creed curse.
Oh.
Oh,
But
okay.
why did we talk about that? Were
I
you?
think because he
Oh,
said he was finally stopping playing whatever one he was working on. Or he wasn't, like, there wasn't a game this year, so he's like, oh,
I
yeah,
yeah,
it
yeah,
works.
that's what
Well,
it
no,
was.
Mirage
Okay.
came out last year, and I hadn't played it yet.
Oh, maybe it's
But yeah,
not that then.
that sounds kind of familiar, but like
I remember that conversation, but I'm trying to remember the context.
there was something about like John and I like trading games, and like he would start being the Assassin's Creed guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
remember
Maybe
that, but I don't remember what you were going to be doing instead.
right. I'm just gonna read the context. Okay. Game of the Year episode fastly approaching. John was indecisive on what he should catch up on. After going through a list of them, Sean suggested playing Mirage, one he hadn't even played, so John could finally play and finish a game of that franchise, but more so that he could be the one playing AC games from now on. Yes. Okay. Sean
So it wasn't
has
even a
died.
trade, it was just straight up Sean had to. What? Where'd he go?
He's like, fuck this. I hate Assassin's Creed. I hate being the Assassin's Creed guy. All right. January 4th. Now you guys can see why we cut some questions. This is obviously we got a bunch of like dumb questions, but I'm
This
trying.
was a genie question day, I think. I think it was
Oh.
a genie question day.
Where we just got like 3 of them or something.
Probably, because I remember there was someone that you were like starting to read out, but then it had like the genie name in it or something, and then they were like, no, no, fuck this, we're skipping this.
It must be. Yeah, it must be something like that. Sean, do you remember now? The title was now you guys see why we cut some questions. And like we were just guessing just an influx of like terrible questions, but specifically John saying genie ones, probably. And I agree, probably. That's what it is.
Yeah, I can't think of the specific.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Context is, as this episode aired in a week with barely any news and not much game discussion, we opened up the floodgate of questions, as later ones wouldn't be answered for a few weeks. Oh, right, because the next one would have been Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Okay.
This included one asking whether a genie would give you 3 wishes after they saw you poop in your hand. Yeah, okay. That's what prompted the like, this is why we cut questions. Because when
I
we
don't even
just
remember
It
that
all
question.
makes sense now.
when we just solicit questions and read all of them, you guys see how stupid some of them get. It's incredible.
Everyone needs a filter.
Yeah, for sure. January 11th. I don't have any Friends cast predictions this year. This is Nathan. The Game of the Year thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, this is Nathan. Yep.
That for me, that's like the highlight of anything I've ever done podcast wise online. Like him just making that weird prediction and the monkey's paw like thing coming true. Basically, it's so good. Context is coming from 2022 predictions for 2023. One of Nathan's was Matthew Perry's going to get really into Starfield and make headlines. Considering what happened later, him felt bad about it. He had this to say. February 1st. Yeah. If I post about it on socials, it's now a big deal. I don't know.
Maybe I said that.
I have no idea.
This is not something I would ever say because I've actually stepped away from most socials.
I think I said this. I don't remember what it was about though.
Yeah, I don't either. Context was Sean talked about he got ill during his trip to Italy, leading to flu and heavy cold symptoms, and what he described as the worst sickness of his life. I was surprised that was the case after Sean's post on social media, not seeming that heavy, to which he said this. Thankfully, he was able to recover from it. I don't remember at all, but okay.
No, not really.
February 8th. I told you were going to get it. I knew you would. Oh, this is your guitar. You were like, I'm not going to get it or whatever. This has to be. Because I think I said this to you.
Yeah, but that would imply that I had gotten it then, and that was way before.
Yeah, no,
I
the
learned
guitar you
about
only
it
got somewhat recently.
a couple weeks ago.
Well, for what it's worth, I knew you were going to get it. I'm saying it now.
Yeah. Okay. So you think you said this to me?
I think so.
Okay. That sounds right, but I don't know what it's about.
As episode 700 was wrapping up, Sean mentioned how the guitar controller he had mentioned before but neglected to buy was pretty great. Did you buy another guitar controller around this time?
No, I didn't.
I said this in response, considering how much you play Rock Band, to which he then said he'd make content out of it and go even as far as making a dedicated console for it as he was gifted one.
Yeah, I mean, I do have the idea of making my Series S a Rock Band machine. Like,
Yeah.
I could do that, but like, yeah, I don't. I got it like in March, so I don't know
Yeah.
exactly the conversation.
He got it in an episode, then it was just me and him. So
Yeah, I was unboxing it and stuff.
I'm just reading what this says.
Yeah,
I have no
I'm
idea.
not disagreeing. I don't know.
Was there like another guitar around that time? Did you get
No.
2 Rock
John
Band
owns so
guitars
many
in a
guitars,
month?
he's just forgotten at this point.
I mean, technically, I did get 2 because I had to send the PlayStation one back.
That doesn't count.
But there wasn't a set. But there wasn't a different one.
Just like in a 30-day period, Sean got 2 new Rock Band guitars. Man.
Stranger things have happened.
Yeah. Maybe like if they could provide more context in the Discord or something. I'm curious what this was in, because you're right, the timeline doesn't make sense here. February 15th. Why is there always something bad happening to us?
I have no idea what this is. February 15th.
It sounds pretty out of character to like actually say that bad shit happens to us in any serious way. So this must be like,
It's got to be sarcastic.
it must be a sarcastic, a joke of some sort, but I have no idea.
Okay, what is it?
It is, a question came up asking whether the host would escape from the T-800 or a predator hunting them down for a day.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
I do remember that email.
While thinking of ways to do
Question.
While thinking of ways to do so, such as taking a cruise for a day or lowering body temperature to the point of freezing, apparently I contemplated just dying and asked this upon reflection on previous questions.
Sure.
February 22nd. I want to be someone's muse.
I have no idea. The 22nd.
I don't know.
I want to be someone's muse. Which of us would have said that?
I want to be someone's muse.
I don't know. One of these weeks I'm not here for. I just don't know when it was.
Okay, we're not going to get this because I don't remember this at all.
Okay.
Coming from a question about our dream job, apparently I decidedly went for one where I would be paid for existing. Sean argued having met his one in the game industry. John summed up Paul's sentiments with this phrase. Okay, I don't remember that at all, but
I had a feeling that I was the one that said it because I think I've said something like that before, but I just wasn't sure.
Okay. I do remember the conversation. I don't remember anyone saying that, though.
Yeah. What do you want to be your job? I want you to draw me.
Not even that. I just want to be able to like just be paid to hang around and just like give them motivation
exist.
randomly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. February 29th. Look at the Rare logo and then imagine 2 arms drawn off the side of it. Why does it sound familiar?
Okay, we were looking at logos for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was like tattoos.
Was the tattoo.
Okay.
You had to get a tattoo of a logo.
Okay, yeah, I think you're right.
So the 2 arms off the side, is that like a full back tattoo of the Rare logo?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it was. Like,
okay,
you have to get the Rare logo, but it's across your whole back or whatever.
Yeah,
something like that. A question came up asking what company logo the host would get tattooed on their back and gain a slight boost in performance on their games. After debating some from the list, including Capcom, Nintendo, and Kojima, we questioned how much space would the vertical ones occupy.
Got it.
March 7th. I don't think I was here for this one, right? Maybe I would have been. What I'm trying to say here is that I interviewed the 2 most well-known video game persons in the world.
Okay, so I said
I wasn't here for this one.
Okay, it was a question that was submitted of like who is the most
Popular between
well-known video game person. We
yeah,
got it down to like 5 that it has to be a part of. And
yes,
Keely and Reggie were in there.
yes. I can't remember. I think we said like also.
Miyamoto,
Yeah, then we had this whole weird debate of like, does it have to be
Kojima.
recent or of all time? Yeah, I remember this conversation, but yes, that's what the context is. During a discussion about who the most famous video game related person in the world is, Sean put forward Jeff Keighley, and after justifying it, he said this. Other candidates included Phil Spencer, Wario64, Hideo Kojima, Reggie, and general celebrities. Oh right, leading me to suggest maybe surveying to see what people said. I never did that, and I'm not going to. So if you have an answer to it, just write in or something. I don't care.
I asked a couple people. It seems like Miyamoto was kind of the general consensus.
Yeah. Like even nowadays, probably, right? Like even though he doesn't
Yeah,
do as
I mean
much as
these
he
people
used to.
do have some game knowledge though, which might skew it. I didn't ask any
Yeah.
like total normies. I should have, but
Yeah.
maybe they just wouldn't have said any of those people.
That reminds me,
Would
did
a
you
total
see
normal even know someone to say?
Well, so let's pose it to you then, John. Like, who do you think is the most well-known person in the video game industry? And we were also because we also had to put some like filters on it because I was like maybe Tony Hawk,
that's
I mean, at that
John
point, you're
Madden.
bringing in celebrities at that point, though.
Well, at that
yeah.
point, then it's probably like Ninja or something, right? So we were then trying to like say, okay, it has to be someone who's like actually just fully in it, like game developer or like like a Phil Spencer, like a Jeff Keighley, something
Yeah.
like that.
Best known game developer is gonna be Miyamoto or Kojima.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are one of our lists. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I think Cliffy B at one point would have been in that conversation, but that
Cliffy B would have been very high up in like the mid to early
yeah.
2000s.
I mean, he's been out long enough now that there's a whole generation of people that don't even know him. So
I was gonna say, I bet none of like very few of my like quasi game friends would know Cliffy B.
there was a time where they all would have, though, is what I'm saying, because he
Sure.
was very big for a while. That also reminded me. Did you see that list? Was it BAFTA or whatever put out like who are the most iconic video game characters, and people lost their minds because Lara Croft beat out Mario?
I did see that list. Yeah, Lara Croft was number 1, wasn't she?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
found that really funny. The internet reaction to that was incredible. It was so good. Who cares? Is my thoughts on that. March
sure.
14th. This is the last one in the list here. That's going to make the crossover movie really interesting when he has to talk against himself. This is Ben Schwartz playing somebody, but I can't remember. I remember you
Oh,
saying,
okay.
what if we got Ben Schwartz to play it, and then when they do the Sonic, maybe Mario? The Sonic and Mario
You must have been Mario.
crossover.
Yeah, who did I want him
This
to
is
play
the
in the
Smash
Mario
Brothers movie. I
universe?
think was probably the talk.
Oh, you're right. It's probably something.
Was it
like
Smash
that.
Brothers movie or was it because Mario 2 would have been announced around here? And like, oh, who? Like, did I say he should do Waluigi or something?
It might have even been a question of like, who would you cast in like a Smash Brothers movie around that
Okay.
time because of that news. It's something like that though, and
Yeah.
it was Ben Schwartz talking with Ben Schwartz because I remember you posing that.
Sure. Yep.
Context was with the announcement of a new Mario movies in the works. We were discussing what cast of characters, so the Mario movie and voice actors would be. Among the different options, Sean proposed Bowser Jr. being voiced by Ben Schwartz. Okay.
I could see it.
Thank you for writing in, as always. Appreciated.
This question comes from VGC Kenny. Is playing a game part of the experience, or is just watching it enough to say you've experienced it?
Depends on the type of game. Puzzle game,
Yeah.
something that has like no story, no cutscenes, and nothing. I think you need to play it. But like
Yep.
almost any other type of game, if it has like cutscenes, a story, like a general like repetitive game loop, yeah, you experienced it.
I'm with you.
What if it's just a racing game? It has no cutscenes, no story. Like it's Mario Kart.
Yeah, no, you haven't experienced it properly then. I would
Yeah.
say.
It
Okay.
depends on the complexity of the game itself, basically.
Puzzle game wise, though, what if you watch every single puzzle?
See, like my mind jumped to Tetris. I'm like, I don't think you really experience Tetris if you're just watching someone play Tetris. But then, like, I'm like, well, Tetris Effect, you technically would be.
Yeah.
But that's more than just Tetris at that point.
No, I'm just gonna say no, just straight up. There's no way, because part of the puzzle process is you figuring it out and then doing it yourself. Watching somebody else takes away a integral part of playing a puzzle game.
Okay, what if it's two people on a couch, one of them's playing it, you're helping out with the puzzles in a
Sure,
verbal
that's
way.
fine. Yeah. I don't think you have to be the one controlling it, but you have to have an active participation in the answer.
You're in the chat and they're streaming it.
Yes, that's probably as close as you can get, but most people don't like backseating, so that's going to be hard.
Yeah, I'm of like two minds here, because like one, the kind of like inherent nature of games is the interaction part of it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it is just like a movie, a show. But like the thing that the game has to differentiate it is the interaction.
Yep.
But at this point, streaming is so like goes so hand in hand with games. Like you cannot divorce them anymore. That it almost seems like that is a justifiable way to experience a game.
I mean, you can justify anything in gaming. I don't care. I'm just saying that if it's a mechanics-based thing and you aren't at least trying the mechanics, you don't understand, like, a base part of the game. So that's really it. If the only thing you care about is story and you watch somebody play it, yeah, you've experienced that story. That's fine.
Yeah.
But you don't know how bad chocobo racing feels by just watching it.
Sometimes if something controls bad enough, you can tell.
Yeah, that's true.
That's another good point. Or kind of along the same way, if the controls are just like so like minor, like a visual novel.
Sure.
Like, do I need to be the one pressing A?
If there's options,
but at that point,
yes.
that's you're experiencing the story, which is kind of my point. Like, if it's
so is the player. The only difference is they're the one pressing A.
Yeah.
So aren't we getting 99% the same experience?
Yeah.
If there's different,
you don't get to make the decisions yourself.
If there's different branching decisions, no, you're not experiencing it. You're experiencing
what if
someone
not?
else's. Yeah, then
if
it's fine.
not, then yeah.
Yep.
Then you're reading a book together.
Then you're watching a movie together.
But it is technically a game because someone has to press A.
Sure. I mean, it's interactive.
Yeah.
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 I think it's just going to come down case by case basis on the game.
For sure. Mm-hmm. All right. Dead writes, John and Paul, now that you're together, how was that 2024 Contra game?
It was all right.
Yeah, that game's really good. I just
what
wasn't...
are we talking
about? Renegade Operations or something? What the fuck is Operation Renegade?
Operation Galuga.
Galuga.
The fucking subtitle is OG because it's Contra OG.
Yeah.
Okay.
Operation Galuga.
Yeah, because it's the name of the island that Contra happens on. I didn't finish it. I only did the first 2 stages and some of the time trial mode or the challenge mode.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've played through it multiple times with 2 people and 4 people.
Oh, right, because that was 4-player.
It is. Yeah, that's kind of the draw for me. That game is too expensive for what it is, in my opinion.
Yeah.
A $30 price tag is perfect for that thing. It's $50, which is a little bit too much for me, but like I love Contra games, so I had to try it out. And it's fun. It looks good. It plays I'm playing it on Steam, so it plays okay for me. I've heard there's some frame issues on
slow down on Switch.
I have heard that.
I also am playing on Steam.
Yeah. The co-op works fine. I will say it's nice that you can choose how many hits you can take, because in co-op that becomes such a fucking mess that the standard Contra 1 hit you die is like no good in that mode at all. But yeah, that game's fun. It's fine.
Rasterman7 says, is there a video game that can legitimately help the player deal with a recent loss?
I mean, any game could do that.
This seems so personal.
I think I've heard like this is a thing you can do with Tetris, is like, because it's a way of like sorting things. Like you start sorting out parts of your mind, so you start kind of like subconsciously processing things. So I know like Tetris has been used in therapy for certain things, including I think PTSD. So I could see Tetris working for that, or some repetitive, simple
Yep.
game to figure out. Like Pacross maybe. I don't know.
Yep. Like any game could. I've had bad panic and anxiety attacks where Picross has helped me through those. I got over the loss of my grandmother, who was like a second mother to me, with Spiritfarer. So that would be the probably because it was around the same time that that game came out. I'm trying to think of other. Those are kind of the big personal ones for me. So I would recommend just something repetitive or puzzly that's simple enough that you could just do it. Tetris is a great example. If you like Picross, that's a great one to just kind of calm your mind, get zen, as it were, be able to sit with your thoughts for a bit.
Yeah, I don't think there's like a specific answer. Like this is going to be so case by case, person by person. Whether it's you want something simple, kind of just to turn your brain off, the Tetris route.
Yep.
But then again, for some people, like playing horror games is like a
Yep.
chill time for them. That's just what they're into. So like, but for me, that's obviously not going to be a thing. Or maybe they want to play a game that's like actually touching and talking about those specific themes. The one that came to mind when I read this question was That Dragon Cancer, which is about like them losing their like newborn child after like a couple years or whatever it was. So yeah, I'm sure it can.
Yep.
Suku writes, favorite Jewish video game character. I have no idea who's
BK Blazkowicz
character.
Obviously.
Oh yeah,
he
good
kills
answer.
the Nazis. Whole lot of dead Nazis.
That's my answer because I literally can't think of anyone else.
Okay, off this quick, what Google is saying, Otacon.
What?
Otacon is apparently Jewish.
Okay.
Magneto. That's obvious.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
Kyle from South Park.
Okay. Yeah. Fair.
Okay, so we're just going completely out of games in general and
Moon
just saying,
Knight.
Okay, what game is he in?
Oh, he's like, I don't know, Marvel Ultimate Alliance. He's in that. At least one of those.
Okay, sure.
BJ Blazkowicz is not on this list.
Well, he is Jewish. He is Polish and Jewish, 100%.
Let's see. There's an article here. Yeah, they're showing Otacon again. Gordon Freeman from Half-Life is Jewish?
So when did they say that Otacon is Jewish?
And you're sure this isn't a parody article, right? Just making sure.
It's not like Hard Drive or whatever.
I don't know. Whatever. thetimesofisrael.com. A brief history of Jewish video game characters.
That's my
First
favorite
one they
parody
talk about
site.
is BJ Blazkowicz. Then they talk about Otacon. It features a canonically Jewish Dr. Hal Emmerich.
I don't doubt that he probably has a line in there or has said things that like make it obvious that he is Jewish, but I just can't think of it at all.
Nothing's jumping to mind, but yeah. Must be something in there.
Yep. Is there anybody else? It's kind of like a shame that we have to look up a list of Jewish characters and it's just not like more outwardly
Well, there's not
obvious.
really any characters that make it part of their like persona or like their MO except for like say BJ.
Yeah, and even with BJ, it's more just like you like the idea that like this Jewish Polish badass is kicking the shit out of like, you know, the worst people for those people in real life. So yeah, weird. Shane
Layton?
What?
Wait,
No.
what?
They're just saying. List? I mean, at this point, they could just claim any character is Jewish, and I'll just be like, yeah, okay. Like,
wait, then it goes, okay, his religion isn't discussed in the game, but the Hebrew origins of his name and his choice of hat have led many to draw the conclusion. All right. So this article's taking a few
liberties, yeah.
Liberties, because like they have Gordon Freeman here from Half-Life, and then all it says is many have assumed the Half-Life hero's Jewish background based on his name, Freeman.
Oh my god. Are you? That's insane. But all right, whatever. Shane Steiner's Monster writes, I've played a few games since I've heard them discussed as Metroidvanias. It's my favorite genre. But then I get no or very few movement upgrades or anything else that's an ability that opens up new areas, and I can't help but feel I was lied to. What defines a Metroidvania to you all? Is it just the big map to explore around? Or is there more needed, such as those kinds of abilities I felt were missing?
Um, the idea is supposed to be you're also getting traversal options, but like for me, it was always a big map to explore with secrets hidden around, and you just get upgrades, whether they're combat upgrades or movement upgrades. But I
Okay.
would say more often than not, you want movement upgrades too, like a double jump or flight or ball mode or whatever.
For me, a big thing is I think you need upgrades, and I think at least some of those upgrades should be what unlocks another part of the map for you at some point.
Yeah, I think I lean closer to Paul's. Like, they don't necessarily have to be a traversal upgrade, but there is some element of backtracking because now I have the key card or whatever it is that will open like this kind of door.
Yeah, key
Maybe that
card.
is a double jump and I can now get up to the higher platforms, but maybe it is simply you have the red key card now, you can open red doors.
Or you have power bombs now, so the yellow doors open. Like, even attacks or whatever could be part of that too. I think that's an integral part for me.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because if it was just a big map, like I'm trying to think of an example of a game that has just a big map, but
Assassin's
you're not.
Creed.
Well, I
Like
mean, I'm
any
assuming we're
open
thinking
world game.
2D for Metroidvania.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like a 2D one. Just a big map, but you're not getting upgrades to like open up different areas. I don't know. I guess in
Nothing's
that
coming to mind.
regard, there would be no back traveling, right? Because like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. We should be asking Shane, because apparently he played a bunch that don't have that. So.
Yeah.
Hebrew Lantern says, I think it's me. I'm not sure. I'm lost track at this point.
Yeah.
I think it is. Yeah, it is you.
With the end of the Wii U earlier this week, by the time TDP's aired, what are your favorite memories from Super Mario Maker 1? That it existed.
I loved Super Mario Maker 1. I like 2 as well, but Mario Maker 1. I mean, I still watched videos every couple of days from people I watch on YouTube that play Mario Maker.
Yeah, it was a bummer how quickly they like stopped supporting Mario Maker 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
You can say that
that
about a lot of Nintendo games this
I was gonna-
generation, to be
I was
fair.
about to say Animal Crossing was weirdly cut short.
Yeah, what a shame. Specific memories. I really just liked when it was kind of fresh and new, and everybody that had a Wii U was just sharing levels and like just a whole bunch of like Mario content and stuff. That was just super, super cool. It was a cool time to play games.
I watched a
Yeah,
bunch.
just
Go
seeing
ahead.
people like make their stages for the first time, and not
Yeah.
everything was meant to be like super Kaizo difficult. It was like just kind of all over the board.
Yeah.
It was just like such a neat thing to do. And then when they kept adding in like the little like amiibo unlockables, the little costumes for like Mario Brothers 1 style, where you could just be all the different characters.
Those were cute. I liked the
Yeah.
different costumes and stuff, and they all had little different sound bites, and you unlock them
Yeah.
from like
And they didn't
playing.
move a single one of them forward to frickin' Mario Maker 2, except for like
Yeah.
the Zelda one in the final update.
Such a shame.
Sharing levels with friends was definitely fun because they weren't making just like horrible,
Yeah.
awful stages. And then a Giant Bomb had a bunch of Mario Maker like challenges that they were sending back and forth, and they were making horrible stages. So it was fun seeing some of those guys like bang their heads against stuff. I watched Patrick Klepek do his Mario Maker mornings for a couple months there.
Yeah. It's unfortunate because, like I said, I still watch Mario Maker content all the time. So like a big part of my routine is just dead now. Like that sucks. Specifically Mario Maker 1, because Mario Maker 1 had the 100 Mario challenge, which is so much better than Endless. It's fucking insane. Who knows?
Okay. Phantom Aegis writes, What's a family-made food you know / want to replicate? It can be for your own enjoyment or sharing that cuisine with others.
Family made food.
I have nothing.
Yeah.
You don't have something like, my mom always made this and I love it.
Nope. I
Oh,
was actually a
okay.
super picky eater growing up, so I actually did not like a lot of the food my mom made.
Okay.
And the thing is too, like I don't like Newfoundland cuisine, so like Jig's dinner and fish and
Mm,
stuff like that, and moose. I'm just like, eh.
This is
sure.
Jig's dinner.
God, how to even describe it? It's like meat, potatoes, all in like salt water. It's
What? Like you're
yeah,
eating, like it's cooked in
it,
salt water.
yeah, it's cooked. Yeah, it's very
Okay.
salty.
Very salty.
Hang on,
Weird. I've never heard of
I
that.
gotta like get you the full description of it.
Okay.
Traditional Newfoundland meal comparable to corned beef and cabbage. Newfoundland.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
Yeah, corned beef brisket, yellow split peas, head of cabbage quartered, turnips, carrots, potatoes, butter, black pepper.
This is very Irish.
That sounds really
Yeah,
good.
I'm not a fan of it, but like, yeah, other people like it. Jig's
Mhm.
dinner might be called boiled dinner or cooked dinner.
Hmm.
Boiled dinner.
Cabbage, turnip, carrot, salt meat, mashed turnip, dressing, and potatoes. That sounds right.
Yeah, I would eat this. This almost just looks like a Thanksgiving dinner.
Kinda
Like,
is. But
Sure.
I don't like Thanksgiving dinner, so I don't like that either.
Mm.
okay.
I don't think we really have like family recipes or whatever. Like we make food, but it's just like trying different recipes or something, right? Like we don't have like, oh, mom's pot roast or something. It's like, no, we just made pot roast.
I, I have some stuff like that, and it's not like pretty extravagant, but like when my mom visits or when I'm visiting, there's definitely meals of like, do you want me to make this? I know you like it. My mom makes like a really good salmon with like glaze, with this like tangy glaze I like a lot.
Mm.
My stepmom makes um, eggs Benedict every time I'm there, like on
Oh wow.
Christmas.
Okay. Yeah.
So I always look forward to that. Um, my dad buys me M&M's branded chicken nuggets when I'm at home, and those are awesome. um, God, I miss M&M's so much. I eat so many chicken nuggets when I come home
I
to
keep forgetting
Canada.
that's even a Canadian brand.
Yeah. Eminem's is pretty good. I guess like
M&M's is so good.
Aaron's family is more like that. So like I really like she makes a good chicken cacciatore. I really like her mom's meatloaf. So like her side of her cousin makes really good deviled eggs. So like her family
Okay.
definitely does more of that. Like they all do a dish that's really well. My family was just kind of like just find a recipe and make it. We just need to eat tonight. Who cares? Sort of thing.
Nice. I'm hungry.
Me too. Final question from Matthew. You're playing an RPG. At the current moment, your party members all have thousands of HP. You're only allowed to carry 100 unique items. You acquire a unique healing item that only restores 10 HP. This is the only version of it you will ever acquire. If you lose it, you can never get another one. This item has a completely unique name and sprite. It will never be used in a quest. It sells for only 1 gold. All it does is give a one-time heal of 10 HP and otherwise takes up a slot in your inventory. This item is functionally worthless, but completely unique. What do you do with it? My answer? I forget it exists. Honestly, I probably
My answer is I leave it in my inventory because I completely forgot I had it.
Totally, yeah.
I leave it in my inventory. I don't think I'd forget about it really, but 100 unique items seems like a lot. I already
Yeah.
don't use most of the items in RPGs. Um,
Okay. Let
oh,
me pose the question this way. You have 100 unique items. You're picking up or want to pick up another unique item that you might use, you don't know yet or whatever. This is the one that you could get rid of because it's the most useless piece of crap you have. What do you do with
I would
it?
get rid of something else.
Okay.
Does it do anything special for me to have?
Nope.
Like nothing at all?
No.
Nope.
No achievement, nothing? I'd probably get rid of it.
Honestly, if I was near a vendor, I would vendor it for 1 gold, or if I wasn't, I was like out in the world or something, I'd just toss it. I don't give a fuck.
I know me. I would keep it in my inventory and just be like, well, I have space for 99 items.
Yeah,
This is how I live now.
I'm kind of the same way. I just forget about it completely.
Because part of me is just like, I'll never get it back. It's unique. I don't know. I just don't. It's kind of like in Pokemon with the Master Ball. I never use the Master Ball. I just keep it
Mm.
on my inventory. I only get one. I don't want to use it because, like, I don't know.
Oh,
And it's
okay.
gone. So it's just going to stay in my inventory. And now I have the special item. I'll
Okay.
catch everything with an Ultra Ball.
I do think that's a little bit different, but sure, I get the feel because I will use a Master Ball. If something's useful, I will definitely 100% use it. But like this is useless, so like why would I care? So a little bit different, but I get it.
That's going to do it for questions. Thanks everyone who wrote in. If you want to write in next week, it's topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. What is your game of the week?
Castlevania Harmony of Despair. Yeah, baby.
Nice. Nice. I forgot what I even said I played this week. I guess another code?
Nice.
Okay. I'm going to give it to Rebirth again. We will see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.